If you're looking for more distance on the golf course, odds are you probably thought about increasing your swing speed. When it comes to increasing your swing speed, it really only boils down to 4 things that you need to consider. If you have been working on increasing your swing speed and you haven't really noticed any changes, you're probably pretty frustrated with where you're at right now. In this video, I'm going to go over those 4 factors and really help you determine which areas you need to focus on. One of the most often overlooked factors when it comes to increasing your swing speed is the actual equipment that you're using. Most notably, the shaft. Depending on what your swing speed average is, that will determine what type of shaft you will need for your clubs. Whether you're swinging too fast or too slow for the type of shaft that you have, that is going to limit the amount of torque that you can create in the golf swing via the club shaft. If we look at some of this data from TrueSpec, we can see that if you're swinging with a driver above 105 miles per hour, you probably should be using an extra stiff shaft. Average for most amateur golfers is somewhere between 84 and 96 miles per hour based on their data, and you should be using a regular flex shaft. The next factor that you should really consider, and one that a lot of people often overlook, however, is probably one of the most important, is your actual swing efficiency and the technicalities that you have in your swing. There are different things that you can do with your body to help you generate more speed by giving yourself more time to actually swing the club. One way to think about this is to increase the amount of rotation that you're doing in the swing. That will technically give you more time to generate more club head speed. Some ways that people do this is that they flare their feet out so that they can get more turn through their hips and their pelvis. Another thing that people do is that they let their lead arm bend in the backswing and really wind up, just like a John Daly swing. Another way that you can increase your swing speed through some of those technical efficiencies is reach your hands up higher at the top of your backswing. It just allows you more time to generate more swing speed and more force on the way down. The next major factor to consider when looking to increase your swing speed is mobility. There are 4 major rotational centers when it comes to the golf swing. Those include the hips, the mid-back, the shoulders, and surprisingly, the neck. The hips play a vital role in being able to rotate. We need to externally and internally rotate in the golf swing. If we're lacking mobility in either of those motions in either hip, we're going to make up for that elsewhere. The next is the mid-back. You can imagine that we need to be able to rotate around a stable spine as far as we possibly can in the backswing and in the downswing. Next is the shoulder. Seems kind of weird, however, on the trail shoulder, we need a fair amount of external rotation to be able to get that club to shallow that out and get that in the correct slot as we're coming down through impact. The next thing is the lead shoulder. The lead shoulder needs to have proper amounts of mobility to reach across your body and up into the top of that backswing. If you're lacking mobility, say in your lat, that may limit your ability to overall just rotate, maintain a good posture, and efficiently swing the golf club. Last but not least is the neck. Again, surprisingly, because we're never turning our head in the golf swing. However, when you look at this video right now, you'll see that you need to have lots of neck rotation, again, in both ways as we're turning through the golf swing. Now, the next way to increase swing speed is to look at your overall power output, and that can be broken down into 2 different categories. We're looking at force and speed production. When it comes to the golf swing, we're looking at how much force can you generate through the ground using your legs. 2 exercises that are highly correlated with being able to generate more swing speed: the front rack squat and the barbell bench press. In addition to the front rack squat and a barbell bench press, there are other exercises that you should definitely be doing, including a deadlift, multi-planar lunges, lat pull-downs or pull-ups or chin-ups, single leg exercises such as a rear foot elevated split squat, single leg Romanian deadlifts. The list goes on and on. However, you need to be able to generate force in various different planes using various different motions. The next part of power production is overall speed production. So now we're looking at how fast can you move weights. And we're looking at various different ranges of how fast can you move these weights. We're looking at absolutely no weight whatsoever and just body weight, box jumps, lateral bounds, broad jumps, rotational jumps. Another great alternative and a great way to work on speed is med ball throws. We're looking at rotational slams, overhead slams, rotational overhead slams, chest throws, chest passes. Another group of exercises to really work on speed and power production are the Olympic lifts. I think those are absolutely great when it comes to developing power and overall speed, and you can do it with varying weights. However, they can be a little bit technical and a little bit harder. So starting off with a barbell is definitely the most difficult. I highly recommend learning to do some with dumbbells. Overall, when it comes to speed production and working on increasing your speed, the last thing that you can do is just work on swinging as fast as you can. Of course, there's overspeed training, which is a great option and a great opportunity. However, I feel if you don't have the right equipment and you don't have enough mobility or even strength or power, overspeed training is not necessarily the thing that you should be focusing on to increase your swing speed. And when it comes down to it, you really don't need anything specific when it comes to overspeed training. If you just work on swinging a driver as fast as you possibly can, 10 to 30 times a week, without giving a care in the world of what your swing actually looks like, or if you're hitting a ball, where the ball actually goes. Now, you're not gonna be swinging like that on the course, but now your body knows that it can swing faster and that things are gonna be okay. Now that you know what the 4 factors are, get after those speed gains by watching this video right here.